I noticed that whenever I move an orchid into the sun,
Yeah.
within a week,
It starts to bloom.
you will start seeing spikes.
Okay, so my
Yeah.
dendrobiums are going to the sun. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Plants in Tropical Spaces, where I'm all about inspiring a do-it-yourself gardening culture. I'm here at the garden of a plant lover, Eniola. So Eniola's plant journey started many years ago, but then took on full force during the lockdown, and she has amassed an amazing collection of orchids. So I'm here to see her collection and perhaps pick up a few tips I hope we can learn from. So do come along. Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure.
All right, thank you.
So hi everyone,
All
welcome to my garden. It's called Awele's Garden.
Okay.
Awele is my pet name.
Okay.
It's not Awele, it's Awele. That's the
Awele.
Yoruba, we
Okay.
call it Oriki. So my garden is
Ah.
Awele's Garden.
Okay.
So like John said, I've always loved plants, flowers. I grew up with flowers and plants, my parents, my mom, my dad. They were not, huge gardeners, but they loved we had a lot of grain in our house. We had fruit trees. We literally had vegetation. I would say we lived in a forest kind of.
Where was this? In Lagos?
Yes, in Lagos. I grew
Okay.
up in Ikoyi.
Okay.
So,
Oh, yeah.
it was a small house
Yeah,
with a
the-
huge compound, and it had everything, mangoes, fruits, pawpaws, name it. And then it had all the usual flowers, hibiscus, all the usual old-fashioned flowers. So, I grew up with that, and I've always liked flowers. So when we moved here, we had a garden. We just had a regular garden, and I was fine with it. And because I was busy, the kids and everything, so I didn't really pay much attention. And then lockdown hit. And as you all know, lockdown was a time, I think for most people, was a time of, I think quite a few of us were miserable and we were bored. There was really not much to do. There was only an amount of TV you could watch, books you could read, walking around you could do. Anyway, so I rekindled my love for gardening. But I have to say that I was inspired by my love for orchids. I was inspired by a few people. My brother-in-law, I remember, used to buy me orchids, but then I'll put them in the house, and once the flowers died, I would throw it away.
Oh.
So I was like, the fly is dead, though. And that's the end of the thing. I would chuck the plant. And then I think during lockdown, I was inspired by quite a few people, I started going on Instagram and everything. And then I have to mention the names. I was inspired by BB, I was inspired by Vivian, I was inspired by Abby's Orchids.
Okay.
I would look at their pages and I was thinking, wow, I really love this orchid. How do they maintain it? Anyway, so when I then decided I really wanted to, focus on orchids, then I gave everything. And I became obsessed. So I dragged my sister and I dragged my friend Tony as well. So the three of us became kind of orchid lovers. So this orchid collection is, I think, 4 or 5 years old.
Wow.
Lockdown was when?
2020.
2020.
Yeah, so 4 years.
Yeah, it
4
is
years
4
ago.
years. It is. And I was saying to John earlier, I may not know all the plants in my garden, but I know all the orchids. I know every single one. And somehow, off the top of my head, I can tell you where I got the orchids from. So we can start from here. I have one little plant, one really pretty flower there. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember.
One?
The purple one.
Okay,
it's picking. What's it
the
called?
sandpaper
The
vine.
sandpaper vine. Yeah. That was a gift.
Petra, something. Yeah.
That was a gift. It was
Okay.
one of the first gifts I got, and it was from, I can't remember who. It was a lady on our garden group.
Okay.
during lockdown, we were always gifting each other things because everybody,
Yes,
So it was, I can't remember who it was. I wish I did. Anyway, so, um, this garden I designed myself.
Okay. Was this tree here when you
The
moved
tree,
in?
yes. So the tree
tree
has
has
always been
there.
here. We planted it when we
Perfect
moved in.
shade.
Yeah, but it was just there,
Okay.
So, so I have this habit of just throwing things. I don't have and I'll say one thing. I think your garden reflects you, really. I'm not sure anyone can well, I guess people have people designing gardens for them, but for me, I just put things everywhere, wherever I decide to. I might just, and nobody calls me a restless gardener because this garden hasn't always looked this, this good, even if I say so. And that's because it took a while for things to settle.
Yes.
It took a while for me to know where to place.
Yes.
And when it comes to placing orchids, I have to say, I am a master.
I can see that.
When it comes to placing orchids, I know exactly where each orchid will thrive. So let me give you examples. The dendrobiums,
Yes.
people say, oh, dendrobiums, shouldn't be in full sun. I disagree. But then that is my own opinion. And I'll explain to you why when we go further down. You can see here, we do have the dendrobiums. They're flowering. They're in filtered sun, as you call it. So they do get the morning sun here, but it's filtered. Every now and then, I get the gardener to clear some of the branches so that more sun will come through.
All right.
I haven't done that in a while because, for certain reasons, but I should do that now. Because if we had cleared quite a bit, we would have more blooms here.
So these dendrobiums are always here?
They're always here.
Okay.
Yeah, I've moved around, so they're always here. So there are mainly dendrobiums here. I have a mix of, I think, now this is a very interesting one. That's a Phalaenopsis. You can see.
Which one? The white?
No, the purple one that is there.
Oh, really?
It's actually from.
That's the spike all the way from there.
Yeah, it's all the way from the log. So I use different things. I use logs. Like some orchids are attached to.
Why is that spike so long?
No idea. It was it just started growing, and then because it was dangling, so I think Uduak or somebody just hooked it up there so that it wouldn't break in the wind.
Okay.
So I use every available space, every available space. As you can see, I'm mounting, because I use pots, of course, for orchids. So I mount them, and every now and then I will add. But
so you put more than one orchid in a pot?
No. Every now and then I will add another pot.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
I mean, I'm looking and I'm thinking, is there any space? Yeah, I'll find somewhere. I might even go up. I might go up. It depends on how I feel. So like I said, I get inspirations from different people. I have a neighbor. Really don't want to mention his name, but I remember going to his garden and I thought, gosh, this garden is so beautiful. And what I realized was initially, look at my tree, this tree, I really love it. I would just attach orchids, different ones. So look at that. That's a beautiful Phalaenopsis.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
But what I realized is that you still leave them in the plastic
That's
container.
what I was just going to say. Yes. I never used to.
Okay.
Because I thought that, I might as well just attach it to the roots.
Okay.
Whichever one works for you.
Okay.
So as you can see, I have a mix.
Okay.
I have a mix here.
It does well either way.
It does well either way.
Okay.
So if you look at this file,
yeah,
this file is actually attached to the tree. It's not in the original pot. And it's doing well. This is a mini Phalaenopsis. I can tell you the history of these mini files. These ones. These mini files. I put them in my anyway. So then let's go there. So these are mini files, this and this. I put them here because of the shade.
Yeah,
but then again, I also have the dendrobiums here. So this is a kind of mixed area. So that Phalaenopsis is still in the pot, yet it's flowering beautifully. This one is attached, yet it's still flowering. It flowers well. Yeah, so for some reason, and that is so interesting because I have more dendrobiums here than phals. But as you can see, the phalaenopsis are the ones that are really
Enjoying the space.
yeah.
I think they like shade, right?
They do like
yeah,
shade,
because
yeah.
they're the ones that can grow indoors too.
Yeah. But then phalaenopsis are kind of, they're not as prolific as
Yes,
the
as
dendrobiums.
dendrobiums,
Because
yes.
this might stay here for 2 months.
The
The
flowers of
flower,
this
yeah,
dendrobium.
it
Okay.
might.
Okay.
The phalaenopsis, it might for 2 months. It
Oh, okay, that's
depends.
the foul.
Yeah, that's the
The
flower
fowls
right at the
too.
top.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's that up there?
So that's a cymbidium.
Okay.
Yeah. I've had the cymbidium for, I think, 4 years since I started my, 4 5 years. Anyway.
Okay.
Right. It hasn't always been here. It was in a pot, and it
Okay.
was just in that pot with its twin sister. Their twin pots, just there eating and just happy, doing nothing. Literally not blooming, they were just sitting there. So I decided, again, inspiration from seeing what other people were doing.
Yeah.
So I decided to move it up here. Within 6 months of moving it up here, it bloomed.
Wow. So do you feed it up there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But even when it was in the pot,
Yeah.
it was being fed as well. But I don't know, for some reason, somebody said they like being raised. Yeah. So,
okay.
so I moved it here and it bloomed. In
Nice.
6 months, it bloomed. The only thing is that the flowers don't last that long.
How long do they last?
I'm not sure it was up to 3 weeks.
Oh,
well, maybe it's just mine. Maybe for other people. Okay, so this is one of my oldest phalaenopsis. It's actually a mini phal, but absolutely I love the color. I hope it's not dying on me because usually there are about 2 or 3 blooms, but now this has been here for quite a while. It might stay here for the next 2 months, just just like
flower.
yeah.
Oh, lovely.
This, even though it's not blooming, is another of my favorites. It's a white cattleya. It's a very pretty, very pretty. It was a gift.
Oh, okay.
I remember I don't want to mention her name, but if she's watching this video, she'll know.
She'll know.
Yeah, I remember going to her garden and she just broke off.
Okay.
A little kaiki for me and said, oh, here you go.
Oh,
and then she actually put it in a small pot for me. And I said, are you sure this thing will bloom? She said, don't worry, it will.
Was that the beginning of your orchid journey?
It was semi, yeah.
Okay, so you were a bit more confident.
I was yeah. I think it was midway.
Okay.
It was midway. So this is a twin sister. She hasn't bloomed yet. The twin sister of the cymbidium.
All right. So do you want to raise her?
No, I'll leave her here for a while and see what she does. So it's like an experiment. If she doesn't bloom, if this blooms again and she doesn't, then I will look for somewhere else. I have to put her. Yeah. So as we're walking down, so this is what I'm saying about sun and, so this part rarely blooms.
It's really shaded.
Yeah, rarely blooms. So what I do sometimes is I'll move stuff around. I mean, this is blooming, to be fair. These ones are blooming here,
yeah,
but
it's not more light.
Yeah, but it's not as prolific as the others. This one's bloom here as well. So you can see I have stuff hanging. This is so funny. This one, I don't know, it found its way from under the the orchid pot. Nice. Yeah. So you can see this. So because this gets more sun, you can see how beautiful, how big and healthy the blooms look. So,
you've really got a lot of infrastructure to support your orchids.
As I go along, I just think of...
Wow, this is such a nice display.
So initially, I called this my Vanda Alley, but it's no longer, I won't call it that anymore. Okay. I started off with, this wasn't there initially. And then, because I kept getting new orchids and all, and then I got this constructed.
Okay, to hang them.
Yeah. And you can see my peace lilies. There was something here before. It wasn't growing very well, so I just moved it around. So the peace lilies are happy.
The pieces are happy. Are these the scented ones?
No, these are not the scented ones. The scented ones are around the corner. The scented ones have a different... The leaf has a different variegation.
Okay, even the jewel orchid.
Yeah, this is doing so well.
Wow, mine is struggling.
No. I think there's another one somewhere. So I think they do like that bit of sun and this was just an afterthought. I just this phalaenopsis was struggling. I just decided
to hang them on this
and look at that.
It's on this log.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, lovely. And then the log provides a stand for the dendrobium.
Yeah, for the dendrobium. Yeah, use of space.
Use of space and everything.
So here is my favorite part of the garden. You know, as you step in, and this is what I was saying about this thing about full sun. As we walk down, I'll explain to you.
So the sun is setting and it's right there.
This, I need to show you this. This phalaenopsis as well. It's got multiple of spikes.
Well, yeah, so many. Yeah. It's densely packed.
It is. It's so this is a Brassivola orchid.
Okay.
Well, it's probably one of my favorite cattleyas. It's a cattleya. It's a kind of hybrid.
Okay.
So it flowers more than the cattleyas. In my garden, I don't think there's any cattleya flowering at the minute. Cattleyas are probably But I do get some flowering ones. I had some a couple of weeks ago. I think they did. But these ones, they are prolific bloomers.
Okay. How often?
Regularly. This is always blooming. It's always blooming. There's another one there that's white. This is another one. I named it after a friend of mine anyway. Small but mighty. Small but mighty. The reason is she's such a tiny orchid, but her blooms are so beautiful, you know. And when she's in full bloom, she has so many blooms. That's why I call her small but mighty. You have a mix of orchids, general plants here. I have
so you have
the dendrobiums.
Yeah.
I have Hoyas. We've missed quite a few of the Hoya bloom.
This is about to start.
Yeah. And then this was so beautiful. It's fading out. It was so beautiful. It's fading out now. So this was meant to be my phalaenopsis corner, but somehow dendrobiums found their way. So you can see the flowers.
I can see a few flowers.
Yes, and they're blooming really. The reason why I had this was because I was trying to avoid the sun, you know, and rain as well. Phalaenopsis tend to rot when water gets into the crown. So I was trying to avoid, but you know, like I said to you earlier, June, the survival of the fittest. Everybody will find his level somehow. If you can survive, you survive. I'm not too hot on
trying to get everything.
Yeah, because when they're in the forest, they're there.
Well, I think that to be fair to them, many of these are cultivars that haven't been in the forest.
Well, they'll adapt. I'll tell you something. They will adapt. If you put a plant that's been inside, if you put it out, after a while, it will struggle. But it will adapt. It will adapt. Okay. And the person that made me realize that was Uduak, the girl who works with me. We had some anthuriums indoors, they were imported, and they were in the house. You know, they were okay. All of a sudden, they stopped flowering and everything. Uduak just said, I said, Uduak, no, they don't like sun. They won't. So she said, Ma, if they're in the forest, who is going to be looking after it? She just put them outside.
And they started doing better.
They just started doing better, you know. So you say, because they are indoor plants. Well, I mean, that's my own opinion anyway. And that's what's worked for me. From my own observation. Yeah, so this view is probably, I think, well, I always say everywhere is my favorite, but I absolutely love this view. And this is what I'm saying about full sun. This area of the garden is permanently blooming. It's permanently, you can't come out here and not, it's permanently in bloom.
It's fully exposed.
It's there, right in, and that's the afternoon or evening sun when the sun is.
It also gets, it gets the overhead sun as
well. So there's no shade. There's no shade. There's no shade anywhere. And it's always, so this is my Vanda.
That's the Vanda wall.
Again, these Vandas were struggling when they were in different places.
So they like a lot of sun, right? Well, I think they like more sun.
You know, like I said, I moved things around and I finally moved them here and they're there to stay. So all this dendrobiums, you can see how well they're blooming. They're in full sun. Full sun, and yet this has been here for this bloom.
This yellow one, right?
This yellow one, I think it's going on to 6-7 weeks.
Wow.
If not more. These ones have been here for quite a while as well. So this is...
I see your desert roses.
Yes, that's my desert rose corner.
They're not doing much right now, but
No, but
so the orchids are doing something
the
for you.
orchids are doing
Yes.
the orchids are doing much better.
So this is, and you say all this is just 4 years old.
This is it
Wow.
literally is. So you have different kinds of dendrobiums, different variations.
What do you pot your orchids in?
So
You experiment
different
with
things. I
letter.
experiment. Initially I used charcoal. I used
Okay.
charcoal in a lot of the pots.
Yeah.
But then I stopped because I was too, I read somewhere or I heard somewhere that it breeds disease.
Oh, really?
So I thought, okay, let me change. So I haven't changed fully, but I use a mixture of orchid mix. I use clay pebbles.
Okay.
I use clay pebbles.
And the plants are doing better.
They're doing well. They're doing all these are in clay pebbles. They're doing well. And then I have some. You see, they're a mixture. This is in bark. Look at it, and it's doing so well. I think it's all about consistency, really.
What kind of bark is this?
Wood bark. It's
Okay, so
well, I actually buy.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. Look at the pride of Barbados.
Yeah.
Lovely. You had some orchids here. I saw some tied to your palm. That inspired me to tie mine.
They're yeah.
And they're just growing as if,
So yeah, so these ones are tight. They're not in pots.
yeah, and they're
Yeah.
looking so nice.
Really
Oh,
nice,
like
really
that.
nice. I think it's the season for flowers, really. I think it's the season for flowers.
I have just 2 flowers blooming at the moment.
Oh wow.
Well, 2 out of 4, so that's 50%.
Oh, okay, well that's good. That is good. That is a result, 50%. And these are 2 different plants. This
Okay.
is the Phalaenopsis, this one.
Okay.
But this
Up
is the
there.
Berioda, this up there, yeah.
Okay.
Usually there's so many blooms, it should have so many spikes. It's actually a variation of dendrobium.
Okay.
It's called the Berioda. So you can see the Phalaenopsis are really happy this period. There's
Yeah.
spikes, another spike.
And you don't have any fungal growth or anything?
So I treat maybe like once a month.
What do you use?
Some fungicide.
Okay.
I'll get the name for you.
Please.
So I use
think I have that
fungicide and I
problem.
use
My leaves are not looking
insecticide.
nice.
And then the feeding method, the way we feed, we got it from a lady, got the idea from a lady on the platform. And I remember her, I think it's Karen, said weekly,
Weekly.
which means a very weak solution once a week.
I'm doing the first weekly part.
Yeah.
Weak solution, but I'm not consistent.
Well, no, that's it. It's consistency. It is consistency, really. There's another Phalaenopsis here.
Okay, for the aroid lovers, there are monsteras here. So there's one monstera.
And there are monsteras in front.
Yeah, this is one of those standing ones that don't grow very fast, right? Monstera, hello. You know, it's interesting that this Tradescantia can actually go upright,
Oh,
like it's
yeah.
climbing.
Yeah.
It's doing so well. It's so...
So I think this is less than a year old. And that's because nothing grows here.
Yeah, I remember you were
Yeah.
asking me what to grow.
do, yeah.
because
So
the ground is sort of
It's
shallow.
shallow. So
And
I
it's
just went to my
perfect for-
sister's garden and the gardener just took up a couple. And that's it. I hope it grows up and not covers the wall completely, but you know
It's
what
nice
I
to see
mean.
it grow up.
Yeah.
So these ones are always here.
Yes, they're permanently here. But when they bloom, sometimes I
You
move
move them to where you can enjoy
where I
them.
can enjoy them. Yeah. So this is your lucky day.
Oh, this is
This,
this
a
a Cattleya?
Cattleya, yes.
Yeah. The blooms are always so...
Yep. So
Big.
hopefully within the next 2-3 weeks. So I have to show you something about what I was saying.
This one is permanently blooming. Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
This is an
This
interesting
pretty.
contraption. How many orchids are you hanging up here?
I probably have like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 round everywhere.
That's
So
a nice use of
I'll
space.
also tell you what we do. We're also experts. And when I say we, myself and Uduak, we just break off kaikis. We break off kaikis and then we put it in a pot. So
Okay.
this, for example, so this is Uduak. This is all Uduak. This, for example, is a kaiki. We broke off a kaiki and it has flowered.
How long does it take for the kaiki to flower?
That is, I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't take long. Sometimes it takes less than 3-4 months. You
Okay.
just,
Oh, nice.
So this is another Brazivola. It's
Okay.
one of my favorites.
This one.
Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, I love it. It's a sleeper orchid or something like that.
No,
No,
it's not that one. No.
So this is a dendrobium.
It's a dendrobium, but look at the petals.
Yeah.
How do you see that it looks like?
Like a flower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty.
Very pretty, very unusual color.
So here you have your ferns and firecracker plants and hibiscus here. Very good display. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the tour. And if you did, please like, comment, and share it with others. And you can see how plants make people happy. So thanks. And do subscribe to my channel and have a good day. Bye.
Bye.